Monian. Hey, cuties. Today's gonna be a good day. Adventure time. Well, hello, boy. We's gonna go on a little adventure.
And this is it.
Had to cut it short because it started to rain because London weather is beautiful. Anywho, gonna make some tea. Well, alright, let's have ourselves a little chitty McChat. So I took you guys on a little run with me earlier because I wanted to use it as a metaphor for something I've been learning. Everybody knows this law. It's like a law of the universe. It's how it works. That you get back what you put out. Some people call it the law of karma. When I was a Christian, I learned that you reap what you sow. There's even a sect of Christianity that says, if you name it, you can claim it. Some people call it the law of attraction. It's common knowledge that that's how life works, right? So based on this law, the idea that we create our own reality, that we're literally the sculptors of our own little world, is kind of put into perspective. So then the thing that gets me about this way of thinking is like, bruh, like who would choose to be sad and depressed and homeless and poor? Like who chooses that? Like really? But then that brings me back to my metaphor about working out. So our bodies are like machines. Our cells are constantly dying and replacing themselves. That's just how our body works. We don't have to tell it to do it, but it's just how it works. Now, if I don't purposely put in the effort to make my body become what I wanted to make it look like what I wanted to by paying attention to what I put in, and then paying attention to how, putting forth the effort into working out and, building my muscles and such, then I kind of leave it to its own devices. And so when I get all, the extra junk in the trunk, I'm like, oh no, why did this happen to me? How did I become fat? It's not my fault. I didn't do it on purpose. But the reality is, it is my fault because I've kind of relinquished the responsibility of sculpting my body, and I've kind of left it to its own devices so that my laziness can just take over, right? And so one thing that I did learn from Christianity is that everything in the physical world is kind of metaphorical for how things operate in the spiritual realm, in a spiritual sense. So everything's made of vibration. So nothing that you feel that's solid is really solid. But that's a talk for another day. Anywho, in the same way, our spiritual bodies are always putting out vibes. We're always generating vibrations. That's just how it works. Then when I'm in a place where I'm like, well, why is my life like this? Like, I'm so depressed. I don't have any money, blah, blah. I didn't choose this. I didn't choose to be here. But then the reality is that I did choose it, and it's my fault because I've kind of relinquished the responsibility of taking control of my vibratory state, taking control of what I'm putting out, and subsequently taking control of what I'm getting back. And I've kind of left the creation of my world to my subconscious mind, which grabs onto everything that it wants. It grabs onto everybody's negative vibes and everybody's lies about me and my own lies about me. And so then I create this thing, and I've made myself a victim of my own life, which is so silly when you look at it this way, right? It's just so silly. So then what's the solution, right? Because anybody can point out the problem, but then what's the solution? The solution is, my friends, use your imagination. Keep yourself in a place that focuses on what you want, what makes you happy, what are your dreams, what are your aspirations, what are your goals, what are the things that you want and the things that you want to accomplish that you've told yourself aren't possible, because nothing's impossible. Nothing is impossible. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I watched a lot of Disney movies, so my imagination was like superb, right? But then as I grew up, it's normal for your parents and for the adults around you to say, hey, well, that's not okay, and maybe you shouldn't have that dream. Maybe you should figure out something, more realistic. It's kind of like the cycle, because I believe that's happened to a lot of us, if not everyone that I know. And then you grow up and you tell your kids the same things. Hey, think of something more realistic. Don't dream about that. Don't want that because that's not realistic. And you tell them, hey, you need to grow up and come into reality. When the truth is, they live in reality. Like, they got it. They got it right. And we are the ones that need to go back to reality because we've lost it. So go back to dreaming. Go back to thinking about the things that you want and the way you want your life to be. So I'll give you an example of how I've seen this in my own life, right? So I had just moved to California last year. I was so depressed. I was like broke. I had no money. I was like renting a room in my godparents' house. It was so horrible. So one day I was just in a really bad mood and I just locked myself away and I was listening to Coldplay, all dramatic like, right? And I just started thinking about London, and I remember that I always wanted to go to London. I don't know why. I'd never been to London before. I didn't know if I was over romanticizing. I wanted to go to London. It was just in my head that I was going to get to London, and I didn't know how. I had no money. I didn't know anyone here. But even to my best friend, I was like, yeah, so when I go to London, blah, 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 blah. And she just egged me on. She was like, yeah, when you international, and stuff like that. So I get hired with this amazing company, and I get paid to do what I love to do every single day, right? After working for this company for only 4 months, my band, who had not been on vacation for, I believe, 2 to 3 years, all of a sudden gets a 2-month vacation. And the company's like, oh yeah, we'll send you wherever you want. Where do you want to go? And here I am in London, talking to you, drinking tea. So I'm not saying everybody's life is the same. I'm not saying this is magic. All I'm saying is that I've seen this in my own life, and I continue to see it every day that I put it into practice. And so if you try it, then maybe you will too. The important thing that I have to do next is not just to focus on, hey, I manifested going to London, and it'll just be a great story to tell someday. No, I have to now focus on what I want to happen next. So the fact that I want a publishing deal, and the fact that I want to write songs for pop artists, and the fact that I want to, star in indie films, all these things that I want to do, these are the things that I have to focus on. And you guys are going to be along to see it if you stay tuned. Alright, cuties, I'm going to go take a shower and get the stank off my body. Get some work done today. I love you because you're beautiful. It's true. And don't forget, do epic shit.